All right, I've got the next mechanical exercise for you to work on. There's going to be 3 in this lesson. The first one is going to be to play your note pairs of your major scale from the previous week 4 times, 3 times, then 2 times, then 1 time. Now the goal of this exercise is to play them in sequence without stopping. When you get to playing each pair 1x, you will be playing your major scale as intervals, and it's very important to make sure that you tongue the first note and slur to the higher note. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate that now. I hope you don't mind a little bit of reverb. I got all the gear set up, got all the gear turned on, the microphone, all this stuff. Just having a little bit of fun. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. All right, I'm going to stop there. So that was 4 times. So you're going to do the same thing 3 times. You're going to do it 2 times and then 1 time. So I'm going to do it a little bit quicker, demonstrate 3, then 2, then 1, so you get the idea. When I get to playing each interval pair 1 time, I'm going to go the whole range of the scale. Okay, so check this out. Okay, so that's the first exercise, all right? Now I want you to do this for all of the other scales that you know. It's a very simple pattern, but the goal of it is to get you playing all of your scales intervallically like this. And then there's a next part once you get playing them intervallically this way. There's a next part to playing them as intervals, period. So I'll demonstrate that next week. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do that same exercise, but with the chromatic scale. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, 3 times, 2 times, and then 1 time. All right, so it's the same pattern. I'm just doing it with the chromatic scale, starting from the same note of whatever major scale I'm currently working on. So check that out. That sounds like this. Now 1 time. I'm going to go the whole range. Okay, great. So the next thing you're going to do after you get through the chromatic scale, not just in the current major key you're working on, you're going to do that same exercise from a different scale. So in this particular case, I started on A because that's the scale that I was working on. And now I might do it from the key of F because I'm working on the F scale, or I might do it from the key of E flat because I'm working on the E flat scale, or B flat or something like that. So in those cases, I'm going to use the root of that scale as the note that I start on, and that's like this. So I'll do it for the key of B flat. No, I'll do it for the key of F because that's in a different spot on the horn. So that sounds like this. All right, so it's a pretty simple exercise. It's going to get you working on all that stuff. Now, if you want to add some more complexity to it, you can keep going up, and you can be doing leaps of more than an octave, which is very cool. You can also, once you reach the top, you can come back down. It's totally up to you if you want to increase the complexity of this exercise. All right, once you get through that, the next thing to do is a bending exercise. Now this bending exercise is pretty simple. What you're going to do is you're going to play your A above the staff, the A with the octave key, and you're going to hold that note. You're going to play A, then you're going to play G sharp. You're going to finger it, and you're going to go back to A. Then you're going to play A, and you're going to bend the note down to the G sharp without fingering it and come back up to the A. This is not going to be easy if you've never bent notes before, but what this is going to do is give you a lot of control and get you on the road to playing vibrato. So usually what you have to do is you have to drop your jaw, and then you also have to pull your tongue back away from the reed, and that's going to get the note to drop a lot. Let me demonstrate this. So I'm going to play my A, I'm going to finger G sharp, and I'm going to go back to A. Then I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to play A, and I'm going to drop my jaw, pull my tongue back, and bend that note down to G sharp and back up to A. The goal is to get these two notes fingered and bent to have the same pitch. Let me demonstrate that. All right, now the more you do this one, the easier it's going to get. And you can start adding lower notes. For example, you could bend from A to G and back to A. So again, play the note, finger the lower note, go back up to A, and then try to do it with bending. I'll demonstrate that. All right, so as you can see, the more you do it, the easier it gets. It's going to give you more control for bending notes and whatnot. Again, you pull the jaw down and you pull the tongue back away from the reed, and that's going to get the note to, that's going to bend the pitch down. Okay, so once you do that, you can start trying to work on vibrato. Now, vibrato is literally just doing that, but quicker and with a slightly just less extended version of that. Basically, you're going ya, 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 or va, 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 va. But it's all the same. You're just, pulling your jaw down, pulling the tongue back a little bit, and returning to that original embouchure position. You just do it really quickly. Check it out. Okay, so that's how we're going to start working on our vibrato. Once we get this bending exercise together, it's all going to strengthen all this stuff. It's going to give us a lot more control. The thing to remember when you bend that note down, you got to push extra air through the horn. The reed is going to have a tendency to cut out, but once you just start putting more air through the horn, it's all going to take care of itself. All right, the last thing to do is to start working on the vibrato, and the best way that I've found that just makes you not have to think about it, you can only focus on the vibrato and not what your hands are doing, is to go back to this intervallic exercise that we did in the beginning. Pick two notes from your major scale that you're currently working on. And what you're going to do is you're going to play the first note, then you're going to play the second note, and then you're going to go back to the first note. And you're going to hold each of those notes out for 2 to 4 beats at kind of a slow tempo. And on each note, you're going to start your vibrato. You're going to start the note, and then you're going to add vibrato to it. And then you're going to transition to the next one. And it's very important to make sure that you slur between the first note to the second one, so that way it sounds as smooth as possible. So I'm going to demonstrate that playing A. I'm going to go up to E, and then I'm going to go back to A. So check that out. I'm going to hold it for like 2 to 4 beats, and then I'm going to slur between them. And I'm trying to make the notes as pretty as possible. Check it out. Now you may have noticed that I did a bit of a decay or decrescendo at the end of each note, or at the end of the last note. That's also another way you can make the note really pretty. You don't have to just play them at a static volume level. You can slowly increase the intensity of your vibrato as you play the note stronger and louder. You can do other intervals and whatnot. So let me demonstrate that a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. The whole point of this is to make it as musical as possible. Check it out. Again, the purpose of this is to take away having to think about what our hands are doing and just focus on how to have vibrato and create a really pretty sound with when we play. All right? So once you have that, you can start working on songs that you know and trying to make them really pretty. A great choice of material is a ballad or a really slow hymn if you happen to be working on those. For example, you could play Great Is Thy Faithfulness. That's a very simple hymn. It has a lot of room for you to add vibrato to these notes and make them as pretty as possible. Okay, and also if you know how to do bends, then you can bend into the note, that sort of thing. All right, so let me demonstrate that. I am going to play this in the key of concert E flat, C for alto, F for B flat instrument. All right, you're going to want to experiment with different intensity levels of your vibrato. Really wide vibrato, really small vibrato, really fast vibrato, really slow vibrato, that sort of thing, along with your regular note intensity stuff. All of this is what is going to make your notes sound extremely musical and all of your lines and phrases and stuff. Okay? All right, so let's recap what we covered. We're going to do we're going to play our scale as intervals. Playing the root note, go do 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 do. We're going to do that 4 times. Then we're going to play each interval pair 3 times. Then each interval pair 2 times. Then 1 time. And the goal is to just get them sounding as smooth as possible. Slur between the root of the scale and the note you're going to. Then you're going to do that same thing with the chromatic scale. And then you're going to do this with all of the scales that you know. Then you're going to do that bending exercise. And then you're going to work on playing vibrato using the intervals that you worked on to begin with, and then you're going to apply the vibrato practice to a song that you know, a nice slow ballad or something like that. All right, I hope that's helpful and it gets you into being a better player. All right, see you in the next one. Later.